What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Looks like Call of Duty is starting 2025 off with a bang, as Exclusive Ace revealed yesterday a method to attain all of your data that Call of Duty has on your account. So this is like your skill level, your kill death ratio, all the matches you've played, the operators you've used. The data is honestly endless, and it's not much of a surprise that they have all this data. It's just a little shocking that we've taken this long to realize that we can attain it. So of course, I went to the same website that Exclusive Ace went to retrieve this data, and the website was down, which isn't much of a shock considering the fact that this wasn't popularized before this video came out, and yesterday everyone probably went to that website, which was an influx they weren't expecting. Now, time will tell whether or not all of us will be able to receive our data, or if they'll just kind of shut off this access, as it does expose a lot of what they are tracking in game and what they're looking for. And this is probably going to allow players to maybe influence the skill-based matchmaking or engagement optimized matchmaking system to their benefit. So let's talk about everything that is available from this data that was released by Exclusive Ace. But before we get there, I will say, hey, the Exclusive Ace video is linked down below in the description. Check it out if you want his synopsis on this information and kind of what he took away from it. But for me, the way that I look at this is the Excel sheet that he shared. That's what I'm more curious about. We can talk about the implementation of skill levels and whatnot later, but what I'd rather focus on here is the data that they're actually taking and storing on a game-to-game basis. So the first screenshot here, you'll clearly see it tracks the account that you're playing on, the device type, the game type you're playing. It actually has a match ID for every single match you're in. We know exactly when the match starts and ends. That doesn't surprise me. We have the map the game is played on, the team you're on, and the match outcome. Not much of a surprise there. But then it also tracks your operator skin, and your execution. And this is what surprised me a little bit. I'm not shocked that they track the skin or the operator necessarily, but to go as far to say we're also going to track the execution you're using tells me that they want to know who is investing in this game and who isn't. Now, what they do with that, I don't know. But there seems to be something necessary to having that level of depth of data for them to analyze. Are we potentially going to give better lobbies or better experiences to players who spend more money? I don't know. Could be a possibility. That's me putting a tinfoil hat on. But at the same time, is it just data for data's sake? We'll never know. Activision's not going to come out and say, hey, if you spend more money in our game, you will get better lobbies. They're never going to do that. But anyways, let's move on to the next screenshot here. And honestly, I wish I just had the data for myself to show you guys, but unfortunately, we have to use Exclusive Aces here as I was unable to attain mine. Anyways, what I want to take away from this screen is this should be available to the player at all times. I'm just going to say it. I know Exclusive Ace touched on this during his video, but it makes no sense to me that all of this data that's present on the screen right now isn't available to the player. You should be able to see in real time your skill level. Now, we don't know what the skill level of other players are in the lobby, and maybe that shouldn't be public information for everyone, but there should be a skill rating that is public to you. But that's not the case. And as you can see here from this graphic, the skill level for Exclusive Ace rapidly changed. You know, he was right around the high 300s to low 400s, and then out of nowhere, all of a sudden became below 200. And if you look at the games that were prior to his below 200 games, he was still doing just fine. It's not like anything crazy occurred. I mean, the game right before he dropped to 385, he went 22-13. So what gives? We don't know. We don't understand how this skill level is properly calculated, but I am assuming it has something to do with the lobby you're in. And every single lobby you're in probably has a skill rating. And if you are at a certain skill ceiling, they expect you to hit a certain kill death ratio. Otherwise, your skill level will drop. I don't know. That's the conclusion I'm drawing here. But as you've noticed, you can stay at, 100, 200 for a skill rating, even if you're doing somewhat decent, 31-7, 30-8. It's not like the skill level is rising. So does that mean you're getting put in different lobbies? We don't know. Like, there is a lot of mystery behind this number, but having this number might be important to this player base. So I am very curious to see what comes of this. Probably nothing, because Activision likes to lurk in the shadows as much as possible. And heck, they might even not release more of this information to the community because they want it to not be known by this community. They want people to kind of live obliviously. But anyways, I just thought that this would be cool to have for the player base. Now, granted, yes, some of this is available on your combat record, but not everything. But there is one final data point I do want to discuss, and it wasn't on either of the last two screenshots, but I'll throw it up on screen now. It is percentage of time moving. And I find this to be a fascinating data point for Activision to extract from their games, because this essentially confirms that engagement optimized matchmaking is here in Call of Duty. For what other reason would you want this data? Because it's not like it matters how much you move in correlation to how much you spend in the store. It's not like the amount you move is going to increase or decrease your kill-death ratio. But what they would rather do is create the most fun lobbies for people by matching people up based on the amount that they move and incorporating this stat into creating more balanced lobbies. That is what they're trying to do. And it just shows the behind-the-scenes manipulation that Call of Duty has. Is it that heinous of a stat? No. Does it surprise me that they hold it? No, I don't really care. None of this surprises me. I'm not shocked that they have all this data. What kind of does surprise me is that they're willing to let the public know about it, because it does kind of reveal the behind the scenes workings of their manipulative matchmaking systems. All of this is what they use to incorporate their matchmaking. This is how they determine it. And I'm very curious, once I get my own data, if it is released to me, whether or not ping is a part of any of this data. Because it wasn't present here, but of course I feel like XClusive Ace eliminated some things that might have compromised some of his confidentiality, which I totally understand. But let's say ping isn't involved in any of this. Let's say they don't keep track of that. That is very interesting. Because for a game that wants to boast that connection matters the most, why are you not maintaining data points on what everyone's ping is per game? That should be important to you, whether or not people are getting the optimized experience. So again, they might be retaining that, and that might be part of this information, but I'm just judging off what I've seen. It's not there, and XClusive Ace didn't talk about it in his video. So makes me wonder if it is actually there, and that should be the definitive factor on this data, for me at least. I want to see my ping, and I want to see how it correlates to the good matches versus the bad matches, the matches where I have better skill rating versus worse skill rating. Is the ping better in the lower skill rating matches, or is the ping worse in the higher skill rating matches? These are the things I want to see and dissect. So hopefully I do get my data and we can go through it in depth here on this channel. Now, I haven't done a video outlining it, but some things are going to change here in 2025, and I'll go into depth in another video. I'm not going to drown on too long here. So I'm going to finish this off by thanking all of you guys and hoping you guys had a wonderful New Year's, and honestly hope that you are able to accomplish your goals for 2025. Let's go out and get it together, and thank you all for watching this video today. Let's start 2025 off on the right foot by letting me know how you feel about all of this data that was released to the Call of Duty community, and will you try to get your own data? Would love to hear that down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching and engaging with this content. I cannot wait for what this year is going to have in store for us. So if you enjoyed this content, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.